Hello and welcome. I hope that everything's on. Hi, welcome. This is Empress Fire. I am Empress Fire from the Gambia, West Africa. Good morning. Hello, beautiful. Thank you for joining in today. And as you see, the topic today is consciousness and growth and mindset shift. I just have to say that today I feel so good. I feel great. I feel beautiful. After the Freedom Friday, good morning, great morning, rich rising. After the Freedom Friday, one of the things that I absolutely love and appreciate about Girl Hold My Hand is that the people there, the environment, the mindsets that are in the community, they feed your soul instead of your fears, instead of triggering you. And even when they trigger you, it's a good way. They trigger you to grow. They are not triggering you to stay at the same place, right? So it's a beautiful place to be in if you're not in Girl Hold My Hand. I greatly appreciate Coach Stormy. Like I always say when I come on live, the things that she talk about, they are not new to me. Not only have I lived many of them, but I have also studied them in school. You DM me? Okay, I'll take a look after the live. I'll take a look and then I'll reach back at you. Thank you. Chrissy, Warrior Queen. Yes, Warrior Queen. I like that name. All right. I am Empress Fire. I am your host. I am from the Gambia, West Africa. Right? I love my heritage. I love who I am. I love where I am from. Today we are going to talk about consciousness, growth, and mindset shift. And as I always mention, when I look here, I'm looking at Instagram. And when I look here, I'm looking at YouTube. Hello and welcome back. Why I choose consciousness, growth, and mindset shift, right? I went to school for psychology, and then I later discovered Black psychology. I went to school to understand why I do the things that I do, why I feel the way that I feel, to understand who I am. So even my bachelor's degree, I created it. My bachelor's degree is Afrocentric consciousness, right? So understanding my heritage, African history, understanding African American history, Caribbean history, basically, right, looking for the African presence around the world, to just know who I am, right? So one of the issues that we have is that there's this division, and this is a part of growth mindset and consciousness, especially in people that look like me, wherever you're from. There's this confusion, there's this division between us as a people, where we have these barriers, where we have these borders that is holding us apart. Even in the African continent, we believe so much in the borders that we have. This is Gambia, this is Senegal, this is Nigeria, this is Cameroon. Forgetting, because we have forgotten our heritage and our history. Most of us have never been taught who we are. Wherever you are in the world, you look like me. Many of us don't know our history. And for that, we don't know that our cultures, our traditions, and our names are basically the same. But because of colonization, divide and conquer, we have been divided. I didn't know this. I had no idea this was the case, just given the way that I was raised. Now, in psychology, in positive psychology, there's something called growth mindset, right? And many of us are used to having fixed mindset, depending how you were raised. The main topic that I talk about is healing childhood trauma as well as adverse childhood experiences. Now, adverse childhood experiences is something that most of us don't know. We have never been taught. Some of us have never heard that it's a thing, adverse childhood experiences. And if you look it up, you will see what it means, right? There's a... Okay.
Oh, did he leave? Okay. I don't know what happened. But no, right. Sure, I would have loved to have you on. So you talk to us a little bit. So adverse childhood experiences, it's not very well known most of the time. The people that I have heard talk about it in the way that they talk about it, they're basically in academia, or they are doctors, or they're these very intellectual people. So it has never been broken down, or it doesn't get broken down into pieces for us to understand. But if you know Stormy Wellington, if you listen to her, and if you follow what she does, great morning, nice to have you again. Thank you for stopping by. If you listen to the things that Coach Stormy talks about, that is basically what adverse childhood experiences are, and it is what childhood trauma is, right? So she is able to be herself in the way that she explains it. And when you go a little bit more intellectual, people call it adverse childhood experiences. It is the same. It's just a matter of who you relate to more, right? So if you relate to the things that I talk about, you are basically someone who never felt at home. You are someone who have gone through extreme abuse in your childhood, and then you've grown up to face the same issues, and maybe you've never healed before, or have never knew that that's the thing, right? One thing that we talk about is some people are depressed and don't know it because nobody around them is talking about it. Some people are suicidal and have no idea what suicidal thoughts are. Now, I was this person. I was depressed, chronically anxious, right, suicidal, and I didn't know that I was, because many a time I would just be thinking to myself, is this life? Is this all there is? I don't want to live anymore. Why am I still alive if these are the things that I have to go through? So I had a fixed mindset. That fixed mindset, it's very easy for suicidal thoughts to get in because you're not growing. Your mindset is not changing. If you are around people who never change, who are okay with being the way that they are okay with being who they are, right? And you feel like you have to tiptoe through life. You have to tiptoe around them. They might be narcissists, not in the way that society talk about narcissism, because that is a real thing. That is a real thing. Narcissism connects to arrested development. Arrested development is your body is growing, but your mind is not growing. You're probably still stuck to whatever traumatizing incident that was most painful back in your childhood. All of this, I am not just saying the things that I studied, right? I like this glow. I have to use Perfect Storm Collection. Find the link in my bio in the description box. Get this glow going. I still have a little way to go with these breakouts, but we'll get there. Okay, so let's go. I found an article. Normally I never have a script. What I would do is when I wake up in the morning after our lives and go hold my hands, right, I will just find a topic. I have a list of topics. I'll find a topic and then look up what article speaks to me, and then break down that article, because it is usually written by psychologists, psychiatrists, neuroscientists. So the language might be heavy, so I just break it down in my own way, right? And the one that I found today that relates to this topic is 15 ways to build a growth mindset, especially if you want to increase your success. And success is not just having money and getting known and all of that, but in your day-to-day life. If you listen to Earl Nightingale, he is the author of The Strangest Secret. That is something that you need to listen to every single day. That DVD was given to me by a former sales manager that I had, and what he would do is he had copies and copies of this audiobook, and anybody he comes across, he'll give it to them. And then he explained to me that his mentor did that for him, and so he does it for everybody he meets. That audio changed my life and changed my mindset. Of course, I've gone through a lot of teachers, but I've also made the commitment to share that. And it is called The Strangest Secret in the World, or The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. And his definition of success, let me find it so I don't have to paraphrase. I can tell you exactly how Earl Nightingale defines what success is. I will look it up right now. No, baby. No. Okay, Earl Nightingale's success definition. I love this bottle. It's so beautiful. Yeah. Earl Nightingale was a motivational speaker and author who defined success as the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. This is how he defines success. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. So every day you take one step. Every day you are a better person. Every day you look at something that you can change in your life. That is success. You are being successful in the things that you have to do every single day. Great morning, great day, great day. Angel, I am Hill. I hope I said that right. Girl, hold my hand. Great morning. Right? That is success. Every day you're moving forward. That is also growth mindset. You are not staying in the same place. I have been in Girl Hold My Hand for a little while now. Today is a successful day for me. Why? Because I joined Freedom Friday. Right? I spoke on Freedom Friday. Was I nervous? Yes, I was nervous. But I was able to say what I wanted to say in few words and then get off of the live. Just show myself. And for a long time, I was mute. I was quiet. I was hiding for about 5-6 years. Yes, Girl Hold My Hand community. Yes, welcome. Thank you. Right? I love it there. I love it there for sure. For a long time, I was hiding myself. For a long time, I was just very quiet. I am not new on the scene. I'm not new on social media. I'm not new in the things that I am doing now. I have done this before. I have done it on television back in the Gambia. But trauma, adverse childhood experiences, because of everything that I have been through, being around negativity and negative people, and all of this, I developed a fixed mindset. Now, I was raised with a fixed mindset. Everything that I talk about, how you see me now, I wasn't this person before. I wasn't, right? Now I feel like I am myself. These days, Coach Stormy always talk about find your way back. I feel like I have found my way back. I am not trying to be an extrovert. I'm not trying to be happy. I'm not trying to make people like me like I used to do. I am growing every single day. I am around women who are growing, women who are way older than I am, right? So I'm seeing their growth. I am seeing their devotion to whatever they believe in, be it Jesus, be it Muhammad, Allah, be it African spirituality, be it Hinduism, be it Buddhism. I am watching these women grow. So in that way, I am able to develop my own growth mindset as well. The environment we are in, the people that we listen to, the music that we listen to, the people that we talk to, what is being told to us every single day is very important. Being able to understand what are the voices in our head, who is talking to us in our head, like who is talking to you in your head. It is not your voice. If it's telling you anything other than the Holy Spirit, the ancestors, Allah, that's not your voice. So you need to find out who that voice belongs to. Because if the voice belongs to you, it will feed your soul. And when you're around people who feed your soul, you will recognize them. But if drama, toxicity, chaos is what is constantly playing in your head, that's not your voice. That's somebody else's voice. So you need to figure that out. Now that I have become a talkative, I tend to speak. I just tend to just go. Where all of this is coming from, I don't even know, but I appreciate it. And I hope that people will relate to what I'm saying to bring them back to who they are, especially women, especially Black women, especially African women on the continent and African women in the diaspora. Right? My goal and my aim is to speak to your soul. I have become the woman that I needed in my life. I have become the healer that I needed in my life. It did not happen overnight. I didn't just start, right? I've been on a spiritual journey for about 9 years now, trying to figure life out, figure who I am, figure myself, why I do the things that I do. So my goal and my aim is to speak to the heart and soul of Black women, African women on the continent and in the diaspora. Anybody who looks like me, obviously anybody can tap in, right? But I know that women that look like me, many a time, people don't speak to their soul. People are not feeding their soul. There's so many stereotypes about us, about who we are, about how we look, about what we do, about the way that we dress. It's our culture, and it's who we are. And many a time it starts from our family. The things that I'm wearing now is not new to me. But as a child, I would always dress like that. These are the beads of the 7 African powers, right? And then I would have my bracelets all over my hands. And family would tell me that I am too much, that I was too much, right? That I wanted to be seen, that I was showing off. And for a long time, I would hide that. And for years, I was a tomboy, right? I was a tomboy. I would not wear the rings because I didn't want anybody to say anything negative about me. I was a people pleaser. I wanted everybody to like me, looking for validation, looking for love. in all the wrong places. And so when you're able to get back, and when we have more people using their voice to feed the souls of Black women, we become somebody else, like we become different, because we are the givers of life, right? There's a book called God is a Black Woman. The book is called God is a Black Woman, because everything originates from our history, even though it has never been taught to us. If you go to school, there's a saying that if you've gone to school in America, in the public school system, you're definitely racist, and it doesn't matter your color. I've been in the public school system, both. Well, in the Gambia, I was in a private school, but there's not much of a difference when it comes to the curriculum. In America here, I have been in the public school system. The curriculum is the same. It is all rooted in white supremacy and just divorcing ourselves from who we are. Let's go to growth mindset, because I can talk. I can talk safe. And I think growth mindset it's an old thing. It's not a new thing. I mean, of course, consciousness and African spirituality, there's all these things that you can find, right, in math, everything. But when it comes to growth mindset and the book in itself, it was popularized by Carol Dweck, right? The hand you are dealt is just the starting point for development. And I posted this on my Instagram today, this morning. Dark times teach you a lot. That's why you can't regret what you went through, but rather be thankful for all the lessons it taught you. And when you become a diamond, you will see why life had to pressure you. Everything that I went through brought me here to be able to sit down and talk to you, to have the goals that I have, to have the dreams that I have, right? To understand that the things that I went through, it wasn't just me. Even though for years I felt I was alone, I felt nobody could hear me, I felt nobody would listen to me, just because all through my childhood nobody listened to me, right? I always felt alone. And so if you're watching this today, I want to say, no matter what you went through, you are not alone. And no matter what you went through, that is not the end of your life. That is just the beginning of who you are meant to be. Right? If you went through physical abuse, domestic abuse, emotional abuse, sexual abuse, I have went through all of that. And I'm here today to talk to you. So that is just the beginning of your life. It is not the end of your life. But in order for you to be able to change your life, to change who you are, to be a better person, to reach the levels that you want to get to, listen up, right? Because something needs to shift. Something needs to change in the way that you think about yourself, the way that you see yourself, the way that you talk about yourself, what you believe about yourself. It's not what anybody else is doing. It's not what anybody else is talking about. It's about you. You are the change that you're looking for. Hey, Queen, congrats, Miss Karen, for being binary. Beautiful, right? It's beautiful. We're about to take over. Right, so who you are doesn't end with your trauma. It's just the beginning. Now, trauma is a beautiful thing. I know. I never thought I would say that in my life. Trauma is a beautiful thing, because in order for you to be the man or the woman that you see yourself to be, you have to go through something. Yes, all the way up from here, right? I can hear the song in my head, all the way up. So trauma is meant for you to birth your purpose and your vision in life, which means that you cannot be stuck. The hand you are dealt is just a starting point for your development. There's a reason why you feel the way you feel. There's a reason why you went through the things that you went through in your life. But you have to be conscious about it, which is the consciousness. Consciousness is about understanding the spiritual realm, about seeing the spiritual realm, understanding that you are a spiritual being, right? You're not this tangible thing. You're not just physical, right? You're not just your body. We are not just this flesh. This is just flesh. Trauma and toxicity makes us stuck in this flesh because that's all we see. That is everybody. That's what everybody talks about, right? So being conscious is understanding that it doesn't matter what you believe in. It doesn't matter what your religion is. Consciousness is understanding the spiritual realm. And the spiritual realm is who you are. The spiritual realm is our spirit. We are spirit, right? Look at it this way. First of all, if you don't know Moji Baba, he's from Jamaica. Right now, he lives in Portugal. He has a huge following. We call him a spiritual teacher. He doesn't call himself a spiritual teacher. He just says he's just showing people the way. Moji always say that. We say my book, right? My mic, my head, my nose. And I said, I love this bottle because it is beautiful. But the question that nobody asks us is, who is I? Who is my? Who is saying mine? When you say I, what I are you talking about? Right? If somebody asks you, who are you? You say, my name is Empress Fire. I'm from the Gambia, West Africa. I went to this school. This is what I do. These are my degrees. That's it. That's the only thing that's enough for society to say that, okay, right? But we are beyond that. Who are you beyond your name, your school, where you live, the way you see yourself, how society sees you? Who are you beyond that? If somebody asks you, who are you beyond all those things that society says you need, what would you say? Do you even know that aspect of yourself? Do you know your divinity? Do you know how divine you are? And when I say divine, I'm not talking about being righteous or going to church every Sunday and living in the church or going to the mosque every Friday and every day to pray the 5 daily prayers. No. Your divinity, you are born with it, which is what brings in the growth mindset. When you're able to understand and to be able to see yourself in every single person. That's a good question, yes. Yes. And that's a question that triggers self-reflection, right? Who am I beyond my name? That is going deep into consciousness. Let me give you another example. When you were born, before even that, you can change everything about yourself. But you are still the same person deep within. So who is that person deep within? You can change everything. Like I've changed so much about myself. I've changed the way I dress. Right? This is normal for me. I've been doing this my entire childhood. But this, I have never liked earrings. Right? I've changed the way I dress. I've changed. I haven't really changed the way I talk. I just settled in the fact that I am not an extrovert because I've been running away from the divine feminine. Because we always get told women are weak. So tapping in your femininity, it feels like you are weak. You need to be the strong black woman, which is a myth, not a real thing. I have changed the way I dress, basically finding my way back to the things that I used to love, which is dresses and hair ties. I have changed my name. When I was born, my mother named me Yama. I realized that Mariama is a powerful woman and a powerful name in the Quran. I changed my name to Mariama. Right? And as I went doing fashion and being on television and all these things, my nicknames went to Firefly, spelled differently, spelled in the Jamaican way, and also my last name. But when I was born, it wasn't written on my forehead. All these names were not written there. So you can change everything, but there is something that continues within you, the spirit, the soul. Tupac is dead. Michael Jackson is dead. Nelson Mandela is dead. Mother Teresa is dead. Our ancestors are dead, but they are still here with us. Which aspect of them is still here with us? That's the spirit and the soul, right? You can change everything about yourself, but something still continues. So when you find that continuation, that brings you to a conscious mindset. It brings you back to who you are. And that is what Moja talks about. You can change everything about yourself, but there is something within you that never changes. It is a continuation, right? It is that consciousness. We think that life is a continuation of whatever event. Of course, everything is connected. What I went through, coming here in America, living in Brooklyn, getting into Girl Hold My Hand, getting into this business, the things that I do, listening to Andrew Tate, being in the real world, it is all connected to what I'm talking about today. So finding that something. I don't want to go too deep on this, but even, constantly when we have satsangs with Moji, you can check his website. He doesn't promote or anything like that. And that's a mindset of business that I picked from him. You don't need to promote. The people who relate to you will find you. But there's a question that he is constantly asking us, which is, who is the perceiver and who perceives the perceiver? I don't want to take you down the rabbit hole, but who is the perceiver and who perceives the perceiver? Right? So if you say, I can see myself, I can think about myself thinking, but then who is the one who is seeing you thinking? Who is the I that is seeing you thinking? Who is that? Who is the perceiver? And the can can the perceive the perceiver. I'll leave it at that before I go down that rabbit hole, right? But who are you? Who are you? When we were born, we were not born with our name. Most of us are so hung up and just feel that our names are the most serious things about us. It's not. Our names are just a little aspect of us. We are not our names. For me, when somebody spells my name wrong or calls me a different name, as long as they don't make it European, because I have heard that here in America, where, you know, when I first came here, I would say my name is Mariama, and people would tell me, oh, change it to Mary, because that is more American. And I'm like, no, baby, if you can't say my name, that's fine. Apart from that, right, if somebody spells my name wrong or pronounces it wrong, it never bothers me. Why? Because I am not my name. So when we were born, our name, we did not come with our name. I don't know if Miss Karen is still here. Whoever is here, please drop a heart. I just want to use your name as an example, if you don't mind, right? Whoever's watching, drop a heart. So when you were born, when your mother gave birth to you, you did not come with the name that you answer to right now. Yes. Mayama. Mayama, is that it? Yama, sunshine. So you did not come with that name. Even if this is a name that you only use on social media, Maisha, that's your real name. Okay, Maisha. Let's do it this way. Let me channel Moji, right? Because he talks about this. Maisha. When you were born as a baby, when your mother gave birth to you, you did not come out of her womb with Maisha on your forehead or anywhere on your body. Before you were born, she or your father or anybody in your family decided they are going to name you Maisha, right? So you were born with a clean slate. You came absolutely clean, pure, innocent. Nothing was attached to you. No way of thinking, no way of being, no name, no academic education, right? You came as consciousness. You came as spirit. You came as who you are, right? As the woman that you are meant to be, even though there are some trials and tribulations that you have to go through. So you came just absolutely clean. That is who you are. Everything that is in you was put into you. The way you think, what you eat, the school you went to, the name that you have, the way you act, the way you behave, how you think about life. None of it is yours. That was given to you by the environment that you are in, the way that you were raised. There are some black families, African families, that either raise white kids, Asian kids, Spanish kids, right? And they have the demeanor and the language of an African or a black person. If I was raised in a predominantly or in a house or with white folks, right? Or even raised by an African American, that is the way that I would act and be. It is not mine, but I picked it up in the community. So when you go back to being conscious, you see that you are still, your spirit and your being, it is still that baby that came to life pure, clean, nothing attached to them. If somebody say you are hood, you were raised of what is considered a hood that is not really a hood. A hood is basically a predominantly black community, predominantly African community. It's considered a hood because black people live there. If not, it wouldn't be a hood, right or wrong. So where you live, that's what you pick up. I was born and raised in an African community inside of Africa with Muslim parents. But because education and reading and learning was my escape from the pain and the trauma that I faced at home, I speak the way that I speak and I act the way that I act. And some people would say, oh, you're so intelligent and smart. But then what exactly is intelligent and smart? Some say, oh, you're trying to be white. You're speaking white. What exactly is speaking white and trying to be white? Some say this is not black enough. This is not African enough. You are not white enough. You're not this enough. But what exactly is that? Because we say these things, but it is just lip service. It's just on the tongue. It's not the real thing. So who you are is way beyond all of that. So when we talk about manifestation, we talk about alignment. All of these things is just seeing yourself as spirit, seeing yourself as spirit, as consciousness, as a soul, and then whatever you speak comes right away. The creator of your life. If you're from a religious family, one thing that you might have never heard is that you are God. God is within you. Whatever you define as God is within you, because the Creator, God, the Holy Spirit, Allah, whatever is living through you. The ancestors is manifesting through you. I don't have anything here that I'm looking at that's making me say this, right? But from the growth mindset, from tapping into my consciousness, from listening to people who speak to your soul, I was able to see this within myself and get in touch with that aspect of me. Growth mindset. There are a variety of mindsets, and this is an article from Psychology Today. I also use positive psychology. I forgot the one who pioneered that. It's a variety of mindsets, each of which can help or hurt our well-being, right? A growth mindset is simply the belief that our basic abilities can be developed and improved through dedication and hard work. Now, not hard work in the way that society talks about it, especially if you are in the African American community. It's not just about, pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. That's not what it is. It's about being able to tap into your own God-given power that is within you. When you're able to tap into that, like we talk about now in Girl Hold My Hand so often, the law of oneness, because we are one, regardless of the color of our skin, right? We are one. The law of oneness. When you're able to tap into your consciousness, in your own humanity, in your own power, to understand that your basic abilities, or what we consider to be our basic abilities, can be developed and improved through hard work and dedication. What I'm doing now is what that is. I am not sitting here talking to you because I know more than you. I'm sitting here talking to you, right, by developing my abilities to be able to speak to you. The dedication is my commitment that I am going to follow my coach's schedule. My coach, Brittany Turner, is under Coach Stormy. They go live Monday to Friday. My dedication is that commitment that I'm going to follow their schedule, which is the hard work as well. The hard work is not doing hard work, going out there from digging, from running, from having a 9 to 5, from all of these things, right? The hard work for me is killing procrastination, being able to grow, not being stuck because of the way that people think about me or people might perceive me, embracing my energy. That is a hard work, because I have always known that I had a huge energy. Before I knew that I had a huge energy, for a long time, all through my life, when I enter a room, I would always feel the shift, but I was never able to embody that because of the traumatizing experiences that I had as a child. So for me, this is my hard work, being able to wake up every single day at either 5:30 in the morning or 6 a.m. in the morning, shower if I want to, drink my Delgado coffee if I want to, right? Being able to take my supplements, my Blossom Me. If you watch my other videos, I talk about feminine health and how I have struggled greatly with feminine health. That is part of my hard work. Some working hard, working smart as well. Let me tell you a story. The last very, very painful, traumatizing incident that I went through, which was being in this very toxic situationship. That for me, I thought it was a relationship, right? But I was toxic as well. So after being there, there was a lady, Cecilia. I absolutely love Cecilia. I called her my mother. She was the director of the Early Childhood Center in BMCC. And she would always tell me, you are doing the work. You are doing the hard work. And I'm thinking, I'm not doing much. I'm just home, and then I go to school. That's all I was doing. Now, the spiritual work that I was doing, the self-reflection that I was doing, the getting to know myself, reading the books, being in the environment, right? Staying home, isolation, not isolation because of I am lonely, but be alone to self-reflect. All of these I never saw as hard work. I just thought it was normal for people to do that. I actually thought I was late in doing that, and I was alone. And then I came to learn that, oh, this is the hard work she is talking about. So all of these are hard work, right? It's just that without a growth mindset, you don't exert the required effort. And so we remain perpetually stuck. We remain stuck. I think was it in Girl Hold My Hand? Let me find it, that I posted something, because we always think that we are stuck. I don't know about you, but I have always felt stuck. And when you feel stuck, it's because you're not growing. Because when you grow, You don't feel stuck. Yes, I posted it in Hold My Hand. Let me see it. And it says, yeah, Mondays doesn't suck. If you are around people who always say, oh, it's Monday again, what's this life all about? Thank you for asking. Today if you look up on the topic there, I'm talking about consciousness, right? Growth mindset, consciousness, growth and mindset shift. I do this live every day from Monday to Friday, and I talk about healing from childhood trauma. I talk about adverse childhood experiences. My passion is basically in mental health, African spirituality, and education, but not in the way that society tells us. So the things that I went through and the things that I have learned in my spiritual journey, I share with people. My vision is in life, right? My vision in life is to create a home for people who never felt at home. This is what this life is all about. Today I'm talking about consciousness, right? And I was about to read something that I posted in our community that explains being stuck. Does that answer your question? Because we always feel stuck. Many of us women have never healed or tapped into our feminine energy and who we are. Many men as well, their masculinity has been taken away from them, either by society or by, subliminals or however they were raised, which involves healing that masculine and feminine within you. The idea men should be like this, women should be like that. Breaking those stigmas, that is what this life is about. Thank you. Okay, so I'll go back to what I was reading in terms of being stuck. If you feel stuck, if you feel right now that your life is not moving, believe me when I tell you, you are not stuck. There is nothing like being stuck. You might be in a funk, like there's too much happening. There's too much stress and you can't handle it. Your nervous system cannot handle it. Your body cannot handle it. Your spirit is either dead, right? Walking dead. I was that. I was a walking dead. My soul and my spirit was dead. So I felt stuck. That is stuck is just you are not growing. Your mind, your soul, and your spirit is not growing. If you feel like something is not working in your life, it's because there's a different aspect in your life that's connected that you're not walking through. Right? So going back to the post that I made, and it says Monday doesn't suck. I don't know about you, but for years I bought into the idea of, oh, it's Monday again. When is the weekend coming? When is this day going to end? Why do we have Mondays, right? It's Monday again. I have to wake up. Instead of saying it's Monday, I get to wake up. I get to make money. I get to talk to people. But then again, if you look deeper, what exactly is Monday? Who named it Monday? Is there really a Monday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday, and Thursday? Where exactly can you say that this is the beginning of Monday and this is the beginning of Tuesday? Celebrate I am alive. Exactly. We are alive. We are breathing. We are well. There's so much that we have that other people are doing their best to have. It's always the case, but can you see that? Right? What is Monday? Where did Monday come from? We say that, or we are told in the European calendar, because believe it or not, there's an African calendar. I am getting to learn that. So I can't talk much about it because I don't know that much about it. Even though I was born and raised in the African continent, I was raised with the European calendar. The European calendar is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the weekend. And it's the 12 months, right? January, February, March, April, May. But we never question these. What exactly is Monday? We are told that Monday starts at 12 a.m. or morning is at 12 a.m. The deeper that you go into spirituality, 3 a.m. is the beginning of the day. And then you have early morning prayers, 3 a.m. prayers, midnight prayers. But all of these are words that we have accepted. But where exactly did they come from? Have you ever thought about that? So Monday doesn't suck. The weather doesn't suck. For a long time, I wanted to change the weather. I would wake up to do something or want to go somewhere and it's raining and I'm just like, how can I change this weather? We do have the power to do that, but you have to tap into your spiritual self. Right? There are certain songs, certain incantations, certain rituals that when you do it, you can shift things. When you're far in your spirituality, we can talk about that. That you can shift things. And as soon as you do them, there's a physical manifestation of that shift. That is manifestation as well. Right? The weather doesn't suck. How exactly can the weather suck? It's our stuckness. No matter what we do, the sun will come up. It will rain. If you are in an area that snows, it will snow. If you're in an area that doesn't, it wouldn't. Sometimes we're surprised in places where it never snowed and then it snowed. Where rain hasn't fallen, then it fell. We cannot control it. It's not in our hand to control the weather. So the weather doesn't suck. The weather is just the way it is, just like our breath. Whether you're aware of yourself breathing or not, it goes on, right? If we have to remember to breathe, we might die because we will forget to inhale. Monday doesn't suck. The weather doesn't suck. Your job doesn't suck. Your negative mindset sucks. And I had to see that in myself. Because the way I was raised in the Gambia, I have never felt that need of, I'm going to change the weather, or I'm going to this, I'm going to that. Actually, growing up with my grandmother and around my grandmother, whenever it rained, we would go out in the rain, wear our bikinis or our shorts or things like that. My grandmother would put on her wrapper, right around herself. I had one here. She would put it on, and we would just be out in the rain. I want to show you one of my wraps that I have. Sometimes I put it around the window. So this, let me see if you can see. Right, so she would just take this, put it around herself, and then go out in the rain. and we will spend our time out in the rain until the rain stops. So I have never thought about, oh, the weather this, the weather that. But then I came to America and I moved to New York City, right? And I was working retail. I worked retail for years. One of the things that I love most is coffee. I have my Delgado coffee. I want to open a coffee shop, right? You can find this. It's actually a supplement. It's a dietary supplement and a coffee at the same time, which is I love coffee. I would drink coffee anyway. I thought, why not, right? So I worked at a coffee store. I worked at an ice cream store. These are things that I love and I enjoy. I worked for H&M as a visual merchandiser. I did the mannequins and did the windows, fashion. And in those places, there were a whole lot of people who talked about, oh, it's raining again. Oh, it's Monday. Oh, it's that. And I went to a point where I forgot me. So I was just deeply rooted in this idea of wanting to change the weather and wanting for Monday to not come and hating my job. How many hours I'm going to be here? I don't know, child. I'm just talking. You watch what you can. You can rewatch, come back on my Instagram or YouTube. I'm just speaking until the messages stop. Your negative mindset sucks. Your lack of self-worth and self-love sucks. Stop complaining about what's missing from your life and go manifest the F out of your dreams, right? Let me read that in one, which is the idea of I am stuck. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. Monday doesn't suck. The weather doesn't suck. Your job doesn't suck. Your partner doesn't suck. Your negative mindset sucks. Your lack of self-worth and self-love sucks. Stop complaining about what's missing from your life and go manifest the F out of your dreams. Thank you for pouring into me. Much love. Anytime. You can be on the live. You can come back and rewatch. I will save all the videos. It's on YouTube as well. You can DM me. When I have the time, I will talk to you, but it is a pleasure to do this. It's healing for me. It makes me feel not good about myself, but it feels good in general to do this. Because even though I'm talking to you and you are listening and you are here with me, all I can see is myself. Any books you're reading, would you suggest me reading? There's one that Coach Stormy talks about, which is the Untethered Soul. Untethered Soul is amazing. I read the book a while ago. There's also this one that I have here. Oh my God, my daughter put so much chocolate on it. Look. There's this one that I have here, Meditation for African Americans. It says African Americans, but it taps into African history and African culture. That's a good one. People that you can follow and then read their books, and they all have books. But the moment you start following them and listening to them, it will take you down the path, right? Lisa Nichols is one. Actually, on my YouTube, I have put together many playlists of Coach Stormy, right? She would pour into you. There's also Lisa Nichols, Moji Baba that I talked about. He has many books. Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle is the author of Power of Now. Ooh, New Art Awakening, powerful book. If we go down to psychology, there are two people whose work that I follow greatly and have followed for years. Dr. Shefali. Dr. Shefali is from India, but she lives in America. So just like I am doing, putting together the cultures, she does that. And she wrote The Awakened Family, The Conscious Parent, right? It's not just for parents. She was a family therapist and a couples therapist, right? But she speaks to everybody. So Dr. Shefali, The Awakened Family, The Conscious Parent, that's another person. When you go, a beautiful audiobook to listen to on YouTube, you can find it. Is Eckhart Tolle, Stillness Speaks. Let me write it. Stillness. YouTube, you can hear me. Stillness Speaks. I love that book, that audio book. I would listen to it over and over and over again because it just makes me feel so good inside. Dr. Joe Dispenza, oh my God, I can go on and on. But the last one, Dr. Joe Dispenza, he talks about, he would always say, lose your mind and create a new one. He's the reason I went back to school to study psychology. He's a neuroscientist. So that's just the beginning. And a very, very, very helpful YouTube channel to follow is You Are Creators. You Are Creators. That's one word. And the owner is called Justin. I think his wife has a channel too, but I generally follow Justin because he talks about mindset shift, traumas, manifesting your dreams, how to be a better person. If you check my bio on Instagram, I have a link to my second Instagram, Oracle's Place. I think the fourth video that you see, which says you have to be delusional, that's Justin. So if I say all of these things and then you see that you relate to them, maybe you understand, maybe it's helping you, right? And then you know you have to grow, then maybe you don't have the growth mindset yet. Why do I say that? There's the question here. Do you have a growth mindset? Do you believe that you were born and raised with a fixed set of skills and abilities, such as your IQ? I've never believed in IQ. That you heard from birth and will stay with you your entire life. Do you believe that the way that you are, that's the only way you are going to be or you can be for the rest of your life? Do you believe that you can never change? Do you believe that you can never be better? You can never achieve your dreams? If you've never heard something called learned helplessness, look it up. Learned helplessness, where for better part of your life you've just been trying to do things, but failure, or what we consider failure, or what we're told failure is, you experience that over and over and over to the point that you don't try anymore. You just gave up. Learn helplessness. Sometimes we see adults, grown-ups. I was just speaking to somebody that I truly respect in our neighborhood, and he was going through something, and he called me, and I was like, oh my God, I went through that. When you are in traumatizing environments or around narcissistic personalities, that is something that you need to learn as well. Don't just listen to people saying, oh, that's a narcissist, oh, I am depressed. No, look into them for yourself, right? So we were talking about an issue that happened with grown folks, grown men and women older than I am, in their 50s and 60s, but they act and behave like they're still in their 20s and their 50s, 15 years of age. Don't mistake that with, if you look in our community, you see all the grown women, that's different. They're men and women who take care of themselves, who know who they are, who are very conscious. And when you see them, you feel that young energy from them. That's different from people who have been traumatized and have not grown. They are still stuck back to when they're 20 or 15. And some people say, I can never change who I am. Anybody you hear say that, run away from them. Not only was I that person, my mother's that person, my family are those people who don't grow. I'm not blaming my family. I love them. But that's part of the healing journey. Or do you believe that your ideas and beliefs are ever evolving, that you can learn new skills if you work at it, and that your wisdom and intelligence grow with each new experience? I didn't know that in our culture, in our African and Black cultures, and just people who look like me in our cultures and consciousness, what we define as wisdom is very much different from the European academic school definition of wisdom. Completely different. Coach Stormy is wise. What she puts into us is wisdom. Her delivery is different. Her tone of voice and the way she speaks is different because of where she was raised and the things that she went through. Moji Baba, what he tells us is wisdom. His delivery is different. His accent is different because of the way that he was raised, right? So just because you went to school and have so many degrees, it doesn't make you wise. I saw that post one day on Twitter, and we were talking about, they were talking about this African lady who made, bad choices like many of us, terrible choices in life. And I think she was going to jail and things like that. And then somebody wrote in the comments, with all the degrees you have and your level of education. And I had to respond to him that being intelligent and educated and intellectual is very different from being wise and being able to speak wisdom. I didn't know this, but it's very different. So we see a lot of people who are very well educated, and we're like, with all their school and their education, and no, they're just educated. They just went to school, right? School is not teaching us about us. School is a continuation of slavery and the slave mill, the same as 9 to 5. School teaches you to find a job and sit in an office, depending on if you're intentional about school, right? So somebody can be very well educated, can give you all the jargons and memorize the dictionary, but they are not wise. So let me read that part again. Do you believe that you were born and raised with a fixed set of skills and abilities, such as your IQ, that you had from birth and will stay with you your entire life? Or do you believe that your ideas and beliefs are evolving, that you can learn new skills if you work at it, and that your wisdom and intelligence grow with each new experience. If you said yes to the first question, you have what is referred to as a fixed mindset. If you said yes to the second question, you probably have what Stanford professor Carol Dweck calls a growth mindset. A growth mindset will change your life. It's not easy. It is very, very painful. But I think it's the Bible, right? But I also it's in every religion and just spiritually in general. The seeds that you sow, right? You reap the whatever the harvest, what you sow. There's the fruits of your labor. So this is work that when you do it, and it's the hardest work. Jim Rohn, the person asking for the books, Jim Rohn is an amazing person to listen to. He's this dead old white guy. Amazing wisdom. What was I going to say about Jim Rohn? Yes, Jim Rohn says, work on yourself harder than you work on your job. If you listen to Coach Stormy, he talks about this. Work on yourself harder than you work on your job. But we have been taught and trained to work harder on our job than we do on ourselves, because we think that the harder we work on our job, the more money we make, right? But we tend to forget ourselves. We tend to forget who we are. We tend to forget that the job is us. We are the job. It's not the company. It's us. It's our energy. It's our being. It's our aura, right? It's that thing that we come with. If you listen to 19 Keys, 19 Keys explains what blackness is by the skin color, right? I always have to say that because I know that there are people who haven't really embraced their African ancestry, but there's also Africans who haven't embraced the diaspora as yet. Now 19 Keys goes to Africa, and he very much, just like Malcolm X, talks about the connection, between all of us, people that look alike, right? And then 19 Keys explain that blackness, sorry, my charger, I thought this was charging. He would say that blackness is soul, right? There's a flavor to it. There's a feeling to it. There's an alignment to it where we just know. We look at each other. We just know. We can feel each other's energy, like the sense of being just black, of loving that, right? It's part of being conscious as well. You're conscious of yourself. You're conscious of who you are. You can look in the mirror and not just love yourself, but be able to see somebody else and absolutely love them in who they are and everything that they come with. Right? Why does growth mindset matter? Why does it matter? After everything I explained, that's why it matters. Growing. If you're not growing, you're dead. You're a walking dead. I was a walking dead. I wasn't growing. So if you're not growing, if you're not changing, if there is no aspect of you that is different from who you were, 1 year ago, a month ago, 5 years ago, then you're not growing. Then you are just in the same place. Then maybe you have arrested development. Your mind is still stuck to whatever age that was most painful in your life. For me, for a long time, I was stuck between the ages of 18 and 15. I'm 35 years old now. What's my YouTube channel? It's Empress Fire Oracle Plays. I'm going to write it. Empress Fire Oracle Plays. And on my YouTube channel, obviously, I have up to nearly 400 videos, right? Can this be pinned? Oh, wonderful. I have nearly 390 something videos, going to 400 videos. And those videos, I learned this trick from another entrepreneur. His YouTube channel, he basically surrounds himself with the people that he needs to hear to grow. So if you go on my YouTube channel, anything that you want to learn about Black history, African history, right? Black history, African culture, Black psychology, African psychology, those are the people that are there, that they talk about. They talk about our culture. Because all these things that I'm talking about, most of us reason, especially if you're African and Black and you're listening to me, the main reason we need to hear this is because either we don't know our culture and our heritage. The moment you know your culture and your heritage, you know yourself. You know who you are. I have always loved Rastafarian culture. Of course, Empress Fire. I have always loved Rastafarian culture. But because I was never taught myself, and then people ostracize Rastafarian culture and Rastas in general, I did not know that Rasta culture is actually my culture, even though I was not born in Jamaica. But if you know, then you know that we are all from different places, just different stock on the boat, right? My culture might not come from the Gambia in itself. There's the River Nile, there's like Ethiopian, Sudan, all of those cultures, all the way to the Atlantic Ocean, because the Gambia is in West Africa, is right on the Atlantic Ocean, where the slave ships would leave, right? So Gambia, that's where Kunta Kinte is from. If you watch Roots, if you know about Kunta Kinte is from the Gambia. He is Mandinka. And so Gambia and Senegal, we still have most of the slave monuments. And so I surround myself with these things because they uplift me. They are the ancestors from Francis Cress Wilsing, from Amos Wilsing, right? These are all ancestors. So wherever you go, even the link to Oracle's place on Instagram, these are the videos that you will see, surrounding ourselves and just deeply being absorbed with the consciousness and with the teachings of these people. Because most of us, Marimba Annie too talks about cleansing ourselves of European concepts. Now, if you start to take this out of your mind, out of yourself, you begin to come back to yourself. Rest assured, it's hard. I'm speaking English. English is not my mother tongue. English is the colonizer's language, but it's a mode of communication. Some of us have forgotten our language, right? We'll talk about that. Differences between growth mindset and fixed mindset. The first one is effort. When faced with hard work, the fixed mindset person may recruit others to do the hardest parts. I was that person. Spending as little effort as possible, while the growth mindset person believes that good outcomes often require work, effort. Of course, you can delegate. You can have people to help you. You can have a team. I don't have a team right now for what I'm doing. But for a long time, I thought that to set this up, I needed a huge team, a podcast team. I needed people to move the camera, to do this. That's the hard work. They have to do that. All I wanted to do was just come as my beautiful self and talk, because I had a fixed mindset. I didn't think that I could do this like I'm doing now, just on my own. And I don't need much. Just need my phone, the camera, and I just need another webcam camera to be on YouTube. That's all I needed. But for years, I am talking about years, 4 years plus, I thought I needed all these things to be able to do this. Challenge. A fixed mindset person shies away from challenges, possibly from fear of failure. Are you afraid of failing? I was scared shitless about failing. I did not want to fail. I did not want to fail. I didn't want people to tell me I was failing. I did not want feedback. Don't tell me what needs to change. I know what I'm doing. Funnily enough, the next one is mistakes and feedback, right? Fear of failure and may go into hiding. I just talked about me being off the scene for about 5 years, 6 years, because I was scared of failing, and I was scared of what people would think about me, what people would say. What people would say about me, would people know what I'm saying? Oh, I don't like my voice. Oh, I don't like my face. Will people understand when I speak? Because everybody is telling me, oh, you speak white. Oh, you have an accent, but your English is so good. Or did you learn to speak English in America? And no, I might have picked up some slang from America, but a better part of my education was in Africa, in the Gambia. So all of these things, I was afraid that I would fail and may go into hiding as a way to avoid responsibility. I hated responsibility. I didn't even want to be responsible for myself. But when I understood the trauma that I had as a child and the things that I went through, and one of them that relates to avoiding responsibility and the fear of failure, which was probably my most painful experience as a child, was that I lived with my uncle for years. We had this huge, wonderful home, right? I didn't know poverty in Africa. So in our home, I explained this before, but just to say it very short, he would beat the life out of me, beat the shit out of me, the daylight out of me for absolutely no reason. I can turn around and our eyes would meet, oh my God, and he would take his belt or a wire like this, and just beat me to sleep. What is beat me to sleep? He will beat me to the point that I'll just go to my room or my mother's room and just fall asleep. I did nothing to him. Why? Because he couldn't take responsibility of his life. Many men, when feel powerless in their lives and they feel weak, they take it on the women around them. You might be in a relationship like that. You might have somebody like that in your family. He was avoiding responsibility of his life. He felt that he had a fixed mindset. He felt that he failed in his life and he couldn't change his life. Fixed mindset. He was just there. He couldn't change. He couldn't move. Stuck. He's a great example of what I'm talking about today. So I didn't grow up. I did not grow up with anybody who was taking responsibility of their life, except my grandmother. But at that point, she was very, very old. And so she was the one teaching me certain things that would help me. I always say that now the best characteristics of myself that I really love in my demeanor and who I am was given to me by my grandmother. So challenges. Are you afraid of challenges? Are you afraid of competing? Are you afraid of being better? Are you afraid that you're going to fail? I think there's this saying that says, if you knew that you cannot fail, that anything you touch will turn to gold, what would you do? And who would you be? If you knew that you are not going to fail, that there is no way that you will fail, that you will make it, who would you be in your life? Mistakes and feedback, just the same way. A fixed mindset person hates making mistakes. Are you a perfectionist? I was a perfectionist. Lord have mercy. Oh my God, I can't believe that I'm even talking about this today. Or that I even talk about these things to the point that I'm recording them. I was a perfectionist, painfully. The fixed mindset person hates making mistakes because it's embarrassing. Did you feel ashamed or were you embarrassed when you were growing up, when you make a mistake? The people that you grew up around, were they laughing at you when you make a mistake? This thing is not charging. Why is this not charging? And it's blocked. One thing that happens, and many of us, we still do this. We still do this. And I will tell you, right? As a child growing up, we get laughed at when we fart. In my language, it's called dot. When we fart. Okay, it's working now. As a child, right? We get laughed at when we fart.
Yes. I fart a lot.
People laugh at us as a child. So what happens? And that's a natural thing. You cannot stop it no matter how you try. It's natural. It's real, right? It's just taking out gas from the food that we eat, the air, and, different aspects of it. But we get laughed at to the point that we laugh at other people and we grow up feeling terribly embarrassed about it. But that's a natural thing, though. We don't want to fail. We don't want to get caught out there in the street, anywhere in the world, passing gas. Why? That's God-given. That's from the Creator. If you are eating and you don't use a fork and a knife, you are not civilized. But that's not real, though. Somebody made a spoon. Somebody made a knife. Us Africans, we eat with our hands. But we are considered not civilized. Why? To the point that some of us are embarrassed to go to a restaurant and eat with our hands. Pick up the chicken, and we will not do that. But when we are at home and nobody's watching, that's how we eat. Who made you embarrassed about yourself? Who made you embarrassed about your failures, about who you are? Being embarrassed of failure. So many things, right? Walking bare feet out in the streets. I love it. When I moved to my neighborhood and I would walk out just here in front of our house, bare feet, I always get asked, "Oh, you don't have shoes on. Why don't you have shoes on? Why are you not wearing shoes?" But shoes are not real. Somebody made shoes for us. The clothes that we wear was made by someone. But then African cultures that are naked, or us being naked, is considered lack of dignity, lack of self-love, not knowing who you are. Of course, somebody who is traumatized may feel all of these things, but when we talk about natural, we talk about God-given, the Creator, we came out of the womb of our mother naked. We didn't come with clothes. If you were born at home, that was the first time you were wrapped into something. If you were born in the hospital, that was the first time that you were wrapped into a towel. But we came natural, free, clean slate. None of these fabrics. These are all made. The rings, these are all made, right? So we are not just indoctrinated, or we have been programmed and conditioned to think and be the way that we are, to the point that we are scared and afraid and embarrassed of making a mistake or failing. And failure is nothing but learning, right? If I knew that trying to do this live is just a matter of me learning, I would have done it a long time ago. But I was scared of failing. What would people say? And that takes me back to the voice that is in your head. Who is speaking to you in your head? For me, it was my mom, right? Why would you do that? Nobody's doing that. What will people think about you? What will people say about you? How would people see you? It was never a matter of, what do you want to do? What makes you feel good? What would make you feel better? What would make you love yourself more? It's always external, other people out there, mistakes and feedback. So look at that in your life. Right? So I will stop here for today. And then how long have I been here? How long have I been speaking? Sorry, I have this in here. Ratchet but cute. Ratchet but cute. That's from Shira 7. I love Shira 7. If you're listening to this and you don't know who Shira 7 is, you need to find Shira 7. She is absolutely amazing. So what I would do, maybe not tomorrow, but probably next week, I will talk about, let me see, I'll finish it. 15 ways to develop a growth mindset. We will complete that next week, because right now I am tired and it's 11:52. It's about to be 12 o'clock. It's a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to speak to you. I love you and I appreciate you, and we will heal together. And I am here to feed your soul.